Start recording.
Okay, it's fine. On it, okay, I'm now recording. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to our Innovation Talk webinar. And I am Tafadzwa Jean Munodawafa from Marunda University of Agricultural Sciences and Technology. And I'm a food scientist by profession. So thank you for joining us, and we are so excited to share some of the other valuable insights with you today on the innovations. So before we go any further, I just want to stress out some of the crucial or several reasons for the importance of this innovation talks. These innovation talks, they are key importance that can highlight the significance of these innovation talks. I'll start with knowledge sharing. One of them is these innovation talks, they facilitate the exchange of ideas, thereby sharing the insights and also the experiences among the participants. So these innovation talks are crucial for several reasons, and their importance spans various fields. For example, in businesses and technology, education, the researchers, as well as the social change. And also we have the networking opportunities. So these events, they actually bring together the diverse group of people, including industry leaders. It might be entrepreneurs. It can also be researchers. They can also be students. And this networking can also lead to collaborations and also partnership, mentorship programs also. And I'll go on to say there's also inspiration and motivation, which is being brought about this innovation talks. You know, like when hearing someone who has invited something, innovation ideas, and also successful projects from different people can also inspire the attendances. And also, people may tend to also think outside the box. And also, it can motivate individuals and organizations to embrace and change, as well as taking risk in their respective disciplines. And also, there's this the staying current. We say that innovation talks, they often feature the latest trends. Right now, we are living in the 21st century where we've got so many technologies that are being invented, and also research is partaking in the day we are living. So attending these talks, they help individuals and their organization to stay on board and also stay informed about the advancements in their fields. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to introduce to you to our guest presenter, and her name is Dr. Violet Makuku. She's the global and international quality assurance specialist, and she's also a consultant director at the Global Quality Assurance Association that is registered in Ghana. And on top of that, she's also a seasoned project manager. She hosts workshops, she coordinates and facilitates. She's also a researcher. So today she's going to present on building a quality culture for these innovations. So, Dr. Violet Makuku, I now invite you on board if you are ready to make a presentation. Over to you, Dr. Makuku.
Thank you very much, Madam Jean. And I want to thank Marondera University of Agricultural Sciences and Technology for this opportunity. You know, it has always been my passion to share and also to listen and learn from others as we pave way for the development of our continent. Yes, I don't know if I can just give a brief overview of the Global Quality Assurance Association. We are based in Ghana, and a lot of the work that we do is in capacity building. And so I think we can talk about the rest um, some other time. You can also visit our website at gqaa.org, and we have a lot of social media handles. But in the interest of time, I think I will go ahead and look at my presentation. Let me just make sure I can share. So, as much as possible, I wish it could be very much interactive so that together we can benefit a lot from this event. Mhm. I have a lot of questions that I've put across, which I want us to consider uh, together. I think people should mute themselves. I can hear some voices at the background. Right. So here we are. We want to look at the quality assurance of innovations today, courtesy of the Marondera University of Agricultural Sciences and Technology, and Ms. Jean Tafadzwa, who is an innovator, as she has introduced herself. We are very grateful for the opportunity, and we hope we are going to do a lot together. Today, we want to look at this important aspect. Ladies and gentlemen, you know, recently we have heard these statements a lot, a lot, and I think we are going to hear them more, like America first. And then later on, as I was browsing through my phone, I saw a document which was written Netherlands first, showing that Netherlands was going to cut some financial support, it's going to cut some activities which were being done for other continents, and Netherlands is going to be the first priority. And this is where we are today. No matter where you are, I saw Dr. Shayo from Tanzania. I saw say Wellington from Zimbabwe, and Marondera University is in Zimbabwe. I'm in Ghana. Wherever you are, honestly speaking, like she has said that we need to think outside the box. Nobody is going to come to our rescue. Nobody is going to come to develop our continent. It can only be us. Anybody else coming, they are looking for manpower who are well trained to take to their continents and countries outside Africa as a workforce. They are looking for resources that they can use in their industries and so on. But now it's a wake-up call for Africa. You know, we had COVID-19, during that period of the COVID-19 pandemic, there were lockdowns. And these lockdowns were sort of an indirect clarion call to African countries that it's high time you think about yourselves and you think about how you will move forward in case anything like this can happen for many years. As we are seeing rightly now, it's not the first time that Trump has said America first, that Netherlands has said Netherlands first. If you count and check the other countries which have gone on to say their country first, you will realize that there is a great need for us to think deep about what we can do for our continent. And Mr. Fadzwa talked something about inspiration. This is part of why we are also having this webinar. In terms of the quality assurance of innovations, it is a process actually of ensuring that new products, services, or processes meet specific standards of quality before they are released to the market or implemented. It is also a systematic process with procedures, tools, frameworks, concepts, appropriate human resource, people who are ICT savvy, people who are also acquainted with non-ICT driven technology. I will tell you why I'm saying so. And we also need policies operating together to also meet or surpass customer satisfaction. Since innovations are often unique and experimental, quality assurance plays a critical role in managing the uncertainty and risks associated with new ideas or new inventions. And the part of quality assurance which becomes most critical is the monitoring and evaluation, as well as the continuous improvement. Those are the critical things to talk about. Yes, I'll come back to my questions. But, okay, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Fadzwa talked about inspiration. Today, I'm here to inspire you. There's a Black History Month in America, a Black History Month in the UK and Europe in general. But over the years, I've tended to collect information about Black inventors and Black people who made a difference, who moved the world forward until today. We are using the things that they came up with a long time ago, but because of inventors again, we continue to have improvements of the initial inventions. For example, we have people who invented cameras, and now these cameras were operated in a certain way. We used to have what we call negatives, which we could now take and go and clean them. Then we had instant cameras, which could actually process your photograph there and then. Now we have inbuilt cameras in laptops, inbuilt cameras in phones, inbuilt cameras like the CCTVs. All those, I would call them different patterns or different intellectual property. So looking at intellectual property, we are looking at copyrights and products. So you find that I'll continue to use the same example. If somebody invented a camera then they would have their intellectual property as that camera. And it would be patented, registered as a patent. The person who comes also to have the camera in the phone or the camera as a CCTV also register their own patents, which they can sell, because now what they are registering is not the original camera. They are now registering the camera in the phone, because something has been done to the original camera in order for it to fit into the phone. Something has been done to the phone in order for it to be compatible with a camera. But are you not impressed by this list? I'll pick on some of the very, very important things which I thought were invented by white people. And this is a part of the inferiority complex that we do have as Blacks, that everything complex, everything that is upmarket should have been invented by a white person, I'm sorry to say, and not a Black person. But look at it. The air conditioner, which cools or warms vehicles, cools or warms offices and houses, is a product of a Black person. I will not go by the whole list. You can laugh and say, clothes dryer. Yes. Doorknob. Yes. How would you open the door? Maybe initial doors did not even have doorknobs, lock sets, and what have you. But with time, we have had an improvement of these doors. Until today, we have what we call security doors, which can now be even safer with more features than the original door. Electric lamp bulb, eye protector, fire escape ladder, fire extinguisher, that which we use to extinguish fire, gas mask, golf tee, guitar, hairbrush, ice cream scoop, ironing board, lantern. Look at all those things. Peanut butter, pencil sharpener, spark plug. For all the vehicles you have known, they use spark plugs, but it was a Black person. Traffic lights, it was a Black person who was fed up seeing accidents happening. But I don't know why, from all my childhood to some level of my adulthood, when I think and saw those things, my mind registered that it's a white person who did such inventions. Because as Black people, there are some of us who are in the habit of undermining ourselves to the extent of even bleaching our skin so that we can look white. It's not right. It's the worst case of denouncing oneself and surrendering one's value to say that I'm not a valuable thing. I'm not a valuable person. And that in itself leads to exploitation of the Black African person. We have seen this exploitation over the years. And for me, I'm fed up of people who just look at themselves as inferior. Yet we have a lot of role models who are telling us that we are capable. Just this week, I went for an event here in Ghana and we were looking at reforming Ghana's economy. And in the plenary sessions, people were selected to say, you can come in, you were accredited. I didn't have my name tag, and so I stood there. We were now about 6, 7 Black people. I saw this white man coming in without an invitation letter, without a tag, and allowed to get in without being questioned. I said to myself, look at it. It's here again, undermining each other. It's the order of the day. And I don't know how it pays us. It doesn't pay us. It's useless. It's senseless. Let's take the message out there and denounce this looking down upon ourselves. If we look down upon ourselves, then who will look to us with value? Even where we contribute, people take our intellectual property. People say, I want to publish in renowned journals. Immediately, you say renowned and high impact journals in higher and tertiary education. People are thinking of journals in other continents, Asia, Australia, America. Why not in Africa? We have high impact journals in Africa, and we need to build and maintain their quality, not to chase after the quality and journals of other continents where they will take our intellectual property in a silver platter. South Africa is one of the best examples. The Council of Higher Education for South Africa, through ASAF, are able to maintain a list of journals for publications for promotion in higher and tertiary education. And I'm one of the reviewers after every 3 years. They've got journals in education, journals in agriculture, pharmacology, you name it, psychology and everything. So after every 3 years, we review the list of those journals and allow other journals to come on board, provided they suit the criteria of quality that we are looking for. And it has worked wonders for South Africa. That's why South Africa has got a lot of patents to be proud of. Intellectual property is quality. To say when you have invented something, before you really publicize it, you start registering it. It's very, very key. Today, I don't know how much time we do have, but here is Louis Latimer, a Black person who invented the air conditioner. The first home security camera was a woman who invented it. The heart pacemaker, which makes certain people to live today when they are supposed to die, it was a Black person, Otis Boykin. The traffic signal I've talked about, it was Garrett Morgan. He was tired of seeing accidents happening. George Crumb invented the potato chip. We can have a lot of inventions in science, technology, agriculture, medicine, all these areas, and many more which are not represented here, where Black people have been at the forefront of making sure that things do happen. We can make a difference, ladies and gentlemen. We can really make a big, big difference. I took this from one of the slides that Mr. Fazwa used when she presented for one of the series of webinars that we have. There are opportunities in Africa for everyone. But during that webinar, her main focus was on the youth. Her main focus was also on agriculture. Since she told you that she's a food scientist, it was not accidental that she talked more about agriculture. A lot of her case studies were also in agriculture. She told us that a fact that we know, even from our statistics at continental level, from the African Union, we have a growing population and youthful demography. And there's a significant potential for entrepreneurship. The young people can tap into various sectors, which I've highlighted. But in addition, we have agriculture, fashion, and renewable energy, creation of jobs, and driving innovation. Yes, I know Zimbabwe, for example. We had the Africa Prosperity Dialogues sometime in January, here in Ghana, at continental level. And one of the key issues which was raised about the energy crisis in the African continent, it was highlighted. It's something that we need. Besides hydroelectric power, with climate change, what other sources of energy can we have? It can't be innovation about food and agriculture alone. We need more and more innovations in the other different areas. What are you thinking about as you are seated there? We really need to think outside the box. And look, today we lost our power yesterday around 8 p.m. The last time it happened last week, we lost power around 8 p.m., only to get it the following day around 3 p.m. You can imagine. So, what I'm asking you is, what kind of inventions should we have to solve our own challenges? What can we do in Africa? There's a lot that we can do. I want to talk about the education and skills development, where we should emphasize on education and vocational training programs, not only for the youth. I want to emphasize again that this will not only be for the youth, but it should be for everyone. It should be for everyone, because we have able-bodied people who are not employed. We have graduates who are not also employed again. And so we should make it very, very important for all of us to look beyond today and be zealous and overzealous about coming up with intellectual property and develop. One of the things I also want to say, because we have academic institutions here, is to introduce competitions for students in the university on innovation. It works. Introduce innovation competitions for staff, not only academic staff, but all the other personnel in the university. That can also help us. We then need its quality and quality assurance to have an office of research, innovation, and beneficiation, because we show that we are organized. Why do we need that? We need that policy. We need that office, because We also need that office to spearhead the registration of intellectual property. When we have registered intellectual property in terms of patents and copyrights, we can sell the patents and copyrights. We need to do commercialization and industrialization of the patents and copyrights. How do we do that? Again, there is a need, like I said, for a policy. There is, again, a need for that particular unit of research, innovation, intellectual property, and education. Let's mute those people who are talking. Mr. Fadzwa and Mr. Tariro, you do have the rights to mute those people. Okay, thank you. Yes, for now, look at it this way. In Zimbabwe, they've introduced the Education 5.0. Education 3.0 used to be about teaching and learning, research and community engagement. This is what is prevailing in most African universities. But we can move on like Zimbabwe to Education 5.0. Education 5.0 now includes innovation and industrialization. I don't know to what extent Zimbabwean universities have taken it seriously to make sure that this moves on. But Marondera University of Agricultural Sciences and Technologies, by having Mr. Fadzwa as spearheading that component together with their director and other personnel working in there, it means they've taken it seriously. And it means they can move the institution and Zimbabwe at large to the next level. Because they've established the office. They have the personnel. Mr. Fadzwa, just unmuting yourself. Have you registered any patents as yet? Any intellectual property?
It's in the process.
How many do you intend to register, and they are in which areas?
We have the ones from the innovation and also the other one from the Institute of African Indigenous Vegetables, and also the other one from the U Energy Company, the one we are partnering with.
Yes.
Yes.
That's good. That's good. And you will see that even the issue of partnerships she has raised is quite critical. I'm going to touch on it as a quality assurance component. So if we have got pens and pencils, I want you to consider taking these facts which I'm going to bring on board. I'll stop sharing and I'll come back later. Now, remember, we want to quality assure what we are doing. And I'm going to share with you something very, very important. We have, just a minute for me. Okay. One of the most important things, I hope we also had time to take our pens and pencils because it's not on the slides. But one of the most important things, linking from what I've just said, is to set clear objectives and criteria on innovations, on inventions, and what I've said about research, innovation, intellectual property, and beneficiation. That beneficiation is a motivational factor. And you may ask me, what does it do? The beneficiation is there to say anybody who is involved, anybody who is involved in a particular innovation, in a particular invention, should also benefit from it. So we may have the institution paying and carrying out the process of intellectual property registration. But this patent or copyright came from students and lecturers in a certain department and maybe some academic support staff. And maybe if it is the case like what Mr. Fazwa has told us, they are partnering with some company or what, there should be beneficiation policy. What is the company going to take? What is Marondera University of Science, Agricultural Sciences and Technology going to take in terms of revenue and benefits, depending on the percentages of inputs? Define the quality standards. Colleagues, this is very, very important. Determine the quality benchmarks that the innovation must meet, considering both the functional and non-functional aspects. Customer expectations. We have lots of challenges with energy and electricity. What kind of electrical gadgets, saving light, saving power and energy, are we going to have, which can be purchased like a hot bun from the market? Because the whole idea is, once we can innovate, we end up with products and services. Once we have the products and services, we want to sell them. But before we sell them, we may want to test them, pilot test them, make prototypes and test them. After which, we now commercialize them and start selling them. We do mass production, and that mass production will now tell us of what we can do. The mass production will now be determined by the market and market share. If you see that once it's on the shelves, it's being picked, that's good. We have managed commercialization, we have managed industrialization, and we are growing our economies. I want to talk more about prototype and testing. So, rapid prototyping is very, very important. I've seen in African countries that people showcase their inventions before they start registering them with the intellectual property offices. And that is very, very wrong. It's very, very wrong. You need to start registering. It's a quality assurance issue. You need to start registering your innovation with the intellectual property offices before you start showcasing it outside. Because a lot of inventions and innovations have been stolen and registered by other people. You also need to test performance and scalability in order for you now to do mass production. I talked about pilot. It's important. Check whether the product or service can grow and adapt as the user base or demand increases. I think a lot of people would want something to do with energy. A lot of people would want something to do with anything to do with easy production in agriculture, in mining, and in any other sector, music, art and design. You also need to consider in quality assurance, compliance and regulatory considerations. There is one here in Zimbabwe where a certain guy produced an aeroplane. He wanted to fly the aeroplane, but I think the government considered the issue of risk management, that the person needed to go somewhere away from the people to test this small flight before it could be flown. I know some of you were very young those years, but eventually he was never allowed to fly it because of the risk. So we need to check on risk and mitigation strategies, even if it is about food products. We need to look at ethical standards. Ethical standards are very important because innovations should also be evaluated for ethical implications, ensuring that they do not harm people or the environment. You see, when they test their bombs, apparently bombs by nature are meant to kill people, destroy the environment, and so on. But you know, they go on to still test them in oceans and seas, where again we have aquatic life which is destroyed when they do these tests. I talked about continuous monitoring and feedback. That is very, very important prior, during, and after. So the process of continuous monitoring and feedback of things like the market, how the product or service is working, customer satisfaction, the issue of defects, or the issues of feedback for improvement. This is how even the phones, we started with phones where you could only call the cell phones. Then you could call and send messages. Now we have WhatsApp cameras, Telegram, what have you, library books, what have you. We now have a lot of things on the phones. Only because feedback continuously was sent back to those who manufacture the phones, and they continuously use the feedback to improve. Cross-functional collaboration. Mr. Fadzwa talked about it, that they are collaborating with a certain company. We need those collaborations for sure. You may not have a certain piece of equipment, and then you look for collaborators who do have what you don't have. If, for example, you think that you can do a lot on yourself, forget it. You need to work with others. interdepartmental in terms of universities, interfaculty, inter-university, inter-college, partnerships with government departments, partnerships with private sector industries, manufacturing companies is very, very important. Ensure that product designers, developers, even marketers, and quality assurance teams work together closely to ensure that quality is maintained throughout the development process. Knowledge sharing, she said it, foster a culture of collaboration where teams share insights and learning from testing and user feedback. That is very, very important. The other important thing is adaptation to change. So it entails flexibility and agility. Innovations are often subject to change. And so it is very, very important for you to be flexible, to move with the times, to adapt ideas. That is what can propel you. I always tell people that you need to be flexible and agile in order to remain relevant. If you don't move along with the changes that are coming, you will become irrelevant. When you become irrelevant, you become obsolete. When you become obsolete, if you are a company, you are closing. That is it. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we need to learn and do a lot in order to make sure that we can continue to invent. That is very, very critical. Right now, I just want to share, but I don't know to what extent my power will allow me, because I said here I didn't have time to charge my laptop again. But what I want to ask you all is to take a snapshot of these questions. Right. Let's take a snapshot of these questions. I think I'll have to join from the other. And then this is the exercise we now want to have. We want to talk about innovations. What are they? Do we understand more about innovations? Mr. Fazwa, can you take us through and control the conversation with the people for the next 10 to 15 minutes? And then we also want them to make some inputs, some comments. I don't know what we can start with. Can we start with their inputs and comments? They can also write in the chat panel. And then we move on to these questions, because we want to discuss these questions and we want to be practical oriented so that people can benefit. You can unmute yourself.
Okay. Okay, thank you everyone who has been joining us since we started this session. So for everyone, feel free to write any in the chat box. So we have to discuss all these questions that Dr. Violet has listed. So we start about what are the innovations. So it's a question and answering session. It's not me being like leading or answering all those questions. Anyone can just participate or give an insight of whatever this question. So I'll start about what are the innovations. So you can feel free to comment or to give an example or to give some of the other insights related to the questions that are on board. So colleagues, I'm waiting for you. Anyone who wants to contribute.
And they can write in the chat panel too.
Yeah, you can write in the chat panel also. Feel free, feel free.
Hello, colleagues, please can we be active and make contributions?
We are waiting for you. You can make any contribution or maybe ask any questions, the questions that are listed.
Ladies
Hello,
and gentlemen,
colleagues.
we are waiting for you. We want this to be interactive.
Okay. Okay, I have a colleague here. I've got something that she wants to say. So she'll just pick the question that she wants to answer.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. Apologies for the noise we have muted. Okay. So I'm connecting on the same device with Tafazwa, the host. I'm Paida. And I think I'll start to take on number 2. Who are the innovators? I think anyone can be an innovator from any scope of area which they are working on, be it food, energy, science, or anything, because innovation is not limited to one thing, but it's about coming up with a product or service that is addressing certain problems or challenges that society is facing at any given time. So if you have an idea that you see that it can help the challenges in the society, you can work on it and find ways to address those problems and do the right procedures, that is to work on the patenting of your innovation so that it's not stolen by anyone else. And also you work towards either commercializing the innovation so that it makes sense to you at the end of the day. So an innovator is not limited to anyone who is a scientist or what, but it's open to everyone who wishes to address society problems. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Paida. I'm sure everyone has just heard what she highlighted about who are innovators, that anyone can be an innovator. It's not that certain people you are being specified that for you to become an innovator, but it's all about your inspiration or how you are willing to make an idea. So can I have other people on board who would want to participate in these questions? Anyone?
Yes, you can pick on any question.
Okay, I have a colleague here. That's our director for the Center of Innovation and Incubation. So she's going to pick any question that she feels free to answer and give her insights. Over to you.
Okay, I'm going to look at question 1. what are innovations, and what does it, and question 3, what does it take to be an innovator or an inventor? According to one presenter who inspired us at Munodawafa University, Professor Rukuni, he mentioned that when you talk of an innovation, we are looking at a new creation of the mind. It can be a method, it can be a product, it can be a system. So it's not limited to just one type of innovation. So when we are looking at innovations, we are not just limited. I have a sister who works at a teacher's college who was saying with education 5.0, we don't know what to innovate at a teacher's college. And I explained to her that there are some systems in your teaching methods that you will find that they are not working. You can actually come up with better systems. That is an innovation because you may actually address a problem that is being faced by other colleges, teaching colleges, for that matter. So if the innovation is addressing a problem, then it is acceptable and is taken up by those who are facing that problem, which is very important for an innovation. It has to address a problem which the society is facing, and that way the innovation is actually taken up. When you were presenting, Dr. Violet, you talked about the cell phone. If you look at the cell phone itself, the uptake was so high because it addressed major challenges in communication. So an innovation makes sense if it's addressing a problem that the community is facing, and that way it's taken up, and even the room for expansion, which you talked about in your presentation, Dr. Violet, the room for expansion becomes wider because you find that people are interested in the innovation and they actually want to make use of the innovation and get the best out of it. And then when it comes to what does it take to be an innovator, we want somebody who is open-minded, who is not scared of coming up with this, who doesn't look down upon themselves. Because, you know, sometimes you have a brilliant idea, but you just look down upon it. You think, well, it doesn't work before you even try it. So we need somebody who is open-minded, somebody who looks at even small problems that the community is facing, who is aware of those problems, and they come up with solutions to the problems. It's in coming up with solutions that we come to get good innovations. And then we also need somebody who doesn't give up easily. So if you have an innovation, or if you have an idea, you look at the idea, you don't give it up prematurely, and you want to look at how you can actually develop that idea further. And you also need to be somebody who can share the ideas, because what you think is small, somebody may actually come up with other ideas on how to develop that innovation. I think I'll end here, otherwise I won't give others the chance to talk. Thank you.
Before you go, please, I want to greet you and also congratulate you. I think if all your lieutenants are like Mr. Fazwa, then we are looking forward to big things from Munodawafa University of Agricultural Sciences and Technology. Let's continue to push. Besides the students whom you teach, it's also good to do outreach programs. It's also good to follow up on those graduates. Another thing is I always talk about waste of the 8 wastes in quality assurance. One of the 8 wastes is waste of talent. But Director, I think you are not one of those people who are wasting talent. Because some people would say, this one is young and I'm older than them, and so I'm driving everything and I'm doing everything. But we need to give opportunities to the young. If we are working with men, the men should also give us opportunities so that we don't waste talent. The students whom we teach have got a lot of talent. Particularly today, they can develop software which can solve a lot of our institutional challenges. I want to talk about Valley View University in Ghana, and I also want to talk about Midlands State University. These two universities have been able to improve and develop robust ICT systems to run the institution because they took the ICT department, which services the whole institution. They also took students in ICT. They also took other people outside to make sure that they develop robust ICT systems for the institution. And so it becomes cheaper and affordable. Director, I want to congratulate you once more. I also want to congratulate your Vice Chancellor for appointing a woman to be a Director of Innovations. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you very much, Director. That was an insightful information that you delivered there. And also in the chat box, I have people who are coming on board who are just giving us what they are thinking. Ms. Shikombororo Chidabayens actually said innovations can be creations and ideas. And Ms. Paidangani said that innovations are introductions of new ideas, methods, products, or services that can significantly improve upon existing solutions or create entirely new ways of doing things. And also Inoki Tilambula, he mentioned that innovators are a group of people who are working together to solve a particular new products and services that can help. Someone also says innovation is an invention or a new way or product which makes economic impact. Okay, and Mr. Tapiwa says I also is taking question 3. What does it take to be an innovator or an inventor? So he say that it takes relevant knowledge and appropriate experience. You also need a supportive mentor or that is true.
We lost you
And,
there. I think your internet was not
okay.
very stable. We lost you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I was taking what people were posting in chat box. So question 3, what does it take to be an innovator? So Mr. Zezai says that it takes relevant knowledge and appropriate experience. You also need a supportive mentor or network. I second that. And also we have Dr. Tapiwa Matanire. You went on to answer question 4, which says what can be done to promote innovations and innovations. He said that it's the concept of open innovation. It's also very good for promoting innovations. He went on to give an example, like they are doing this very well at the, I think, University of UC, University of Cape Town. So these are some of the other answers we got from the chat box.
Yes. Thank you very much. Can I come in a bit and say I want us to look at very, very simple examples. But my passion for African countries is that we have a lot of potential in agriculture. Honestly, ladies and gentlemen, if there's anything that we need to start working on, which can change the socio-economic status of our continent, is agriculture to begin with. Zimbabwe used to be a bread basket, but now we still need now to work again to make sure that we reclaim that status. So we need to develop simple and affordable tools, efficient tools for our raw farmers, where they are able to use these tools to do their work faster. It could be planting, it could be harvesting, it could be shelling of maize. We see it a lot with a lot of short videos from countries like China and so on. This is my passion. I also want us to develop a lot of marketing platforms, a lot of simple marketing strategies that a farmer who has got potatoes today, a farmer who has got carrots today, can quickly reach out to those who are looking for the products that they have. It's very, very important. We know that not all innovations are ICT driven. So for me, when we continuously talk about ICT driven innovations, I get worried. I think all the speakers have pointed to the issue of identify a problem. And the problem is some people always want to identify big challenges and big problems. But it's the small problems which matter. The day-to-day challenges that people have. I can give you another quick example of one Ghanaian who invented a stove, which is so efficient in terms of keeping heat, but with less input of charcoal. But the charcoal can cook a lot of things over a long period of time. Like somebody said, it went onto the market. It sells very, very fast and very quickly. And so that is what we are looking for. Sometimes the problem is so prevalent, ubiquitous, and big, but people categorize it as a small problem. Stephen Flem, we want responses. We want answers. We want mitigatory measures. So, ladies and gentlemen, there are also people who never went to school. We don't need to shun them. When they come up with ideas, we need to embrace them. So, not because somebody is not schooled, not because somebody is young, not because somebody is female, not because somebody comes from a rural background. All those things do not matter when we talk about inventions. We want people with solutions. We want people who are flexible, creative, innovative, fast thinkers, people with confidence to do things. And then we know that we can succeed. So, colleagues, I'm done for today. Over to you, Madam Jean, as we conclude, because I also have other engagements. I don't know your concluding remarks and what else you want to tell us is from your side now.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Violet Makuku. We have picked most of the important things that you have highlighted from your presentation, and it was insightful. So without wasting much of your time, I would like our Director for Center for Innovation, Ms. Mugowa, to just give a vote of thanks on the presentation that you have made. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. I want to thank Dr. Makuku for the presentation, which was very rich and inspiring. In a presentation, she mentioned quite a number of things that we need to consider in quality assurance and the importance of quality assurance in innovations. She mentioned, of interest to me was the scalability of the innovation. Is the innovation going to be able to be mass produced? And what are the customers saying about this innovation? She also mentioned issues of compliance and risk when you're looking at an innovation. And I think this was quite inspiring. So when we think of our solutions to challenges that the communities are facing, we need to consider all these things that she mentioned about quality. And then she also encouraged us to do innovations, and we are saying that innovations are not based on the education level of somebody. Even a grandfather in the rural areas may actually have a solution. What we need to do is to be open-minded and to see how we can develop these ideas so that we come up with solutions that the community can actually utilize.